Hot off the heels of Google Cloud Next, I came home and immediately went into expansion mode, and that's why my studio looks like it does. Apologies for the state of my desk, the state of the wires, the state of the setup. I'll be releasing a full breakdown in a couple of weeks after Google I.O, where I will go through the whole process of rebuilding my studio, so be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. Now that the apology is done, onto the info that you came here for. Google I.O is only a few short days away, and the teams are all extremely busy perfecting their experiences and getting everything set up for the big event. Stay tuned as I share my tips from attending several Google I.O conferences in the past, as well as all of the Google Next events and conferences around the world. One last thing to note, this video is primarily for the several thousand of us who will be attending Google I.O in person, although if you are not attending in person and you're curious what to expect from an invitation-only festival event put on by Google, then feel free to stay tuned and keep watching. Okay, with that out of the way, onward to the content you came here for. Step 1, register. If you got an invite to register for this conference, I'm not even sure you still can, but if you got the invite, you may as well give it a shot. The venue is invitation only, so unless you got that invite, unfortunately, I'm sorry you won't be able to attend. Step 2, book your hotel. Again, I don't know what you're waiting for, but all of the hotels on the Google I.O website are sold out, and I do recommend getting something as close as you can to the venue, but at this point, you might want to be looking at Airbnbs and any of the other hotels in the area to see what they have as far as availability goes. Step 3. Packing. This is a critical part, and I have gotten a lot of appreciation from all of you for my Before You Go video for Google Next and last year's I.O. in person. So thank you to all of you who came up and said thank you. One of the most important things that you can do for a conference like this is bring comfortable shoes. Every conference you will be doing a lot of walking. This is also an outdoor venue, so keep that in mind in your selection of shoes. Think of this as a festival as much as it is a conference. You're going to be spending a lot of time outside and a lot of time walking around. So in addition to packing comfortable shoes and clothing, I also recommend sunscreen. Many of the sessions are in cooled tents, but the keynotes and a lot of the events are outside, and in California, especially this time of year, it can get pretty hot during the day. It also does cool down during the night, but we'll get into that as far as what clothes to bring. As always at these venues, charging capabilities will be scarce, so I do recommend bringing with you batteries in order to charge up all of your devices. I generally like to carry the Anker power bank. This has a nice screen on it so I can see how much charge is remaining and what devices are charging, and it has a built-in cable on top and on the side, as well as a space to plug your devices in. In order to charge up all of my devices and make sure that everything is ready to go for the next day, I use the Anker Prime charging station, which looks like this. It has a big wall wart power brick and has an enormous amount of power, 240 watts total that are capable of going through this, and I'll leave a link to both of these down below. I always get a lot of feedback for this next item, but I believe it is important to pack business cards. Yes, there are always those NFC codes that you can have on your badge that are easy to scan, but in reality, they're not so easy to scan. Everybody's phone scans NFC in a different location, whether it's the top, or it's the top bar, or it's the back middle, and that can get frustrating when you're trying to just pick up somebody's information before running to your next event. Also, especially when you're on the road, I tend to lose tabs much faster than I lose physical business cards, which go in the pocket, and then I can just go through them at the end of the day or the end of my trip. Yes, it is 2025 and technology is a real thing, but I do still maintain that business cards are the fastest and most reliable way to share information at these events. All right, clothing time. Now remember, this is a tech conference and it is basically a festival version of a tech conference, so there isn't really a dress code. You should dress comfortably, obviously you should be appropriate, but t-shirt and jeans, which is what I'm going to be wearing, is certainly going to be a common fare. It's a primary outdoor event here in sunny California, and so the temperature does get up to 70 or 80 degrees Fahrenheit during the day and can get pretty cool at night, so you are definitely going to want to bring a jacket. Also, a time that a sweater or a jacket will come in handy is when you're in the indoor sessions in the tents. They often have the AC cranked pretty high in order to compensate for the heat coming from the outside. I also generally recommend that you wear a hat because, again, lots of hours outside in the sun, you want to make sure that your scalp doesn't get burned, especially if you're somebody like me who has a pretty short crew cut. For the Americans out there, be advised, Real ID has gone into effect, so make sure to bring your Real ID, for lack of a better term, or if you don't have it yet, then the appropriate identification documents. Backpacks and smaller bags are allowed into the event, but if you have a larger suitcase, there is a bag check that is at registration that you will be able to use. Just be careful and remember that this is an outdoor event and the bag check is also outdoors. So don't leave anything in your suitcase that might spoil, as I imagine that would probably spoil your day. Next up, the conference itself. Badge pickup has gotten much easier over the years, and there is a full day of early badge pickup before the event begins that you can go get your badge and then return without having to wait online the day of the event. Unfortunately, I have not seen any indication that they're going to be doing badge pickup at the airports like they did for Google Next, although that would have been nice. Unlike Google Next, both keynotes take place on the first day. The first one is first thing in the morning, and the developer keynote is in the afternoon after lunch. You can expect a lot of AI everything everywhere all the time, although I am hoping that they spend a significant amount of time on their Android XR and XR devices announcements, because that is a personal favorite of mine and an area of the industry that I'm really excited about and have gotten pretty deep in the weeds into as of late. Breakfast and lunch will be served, as well as drinks and snacks throughout the day. After lunch, you have the developer keynote, which will undoubtedly have much more things about AI. Please do not make this a drinking game. You will not survive. After the developer keynote, the schedule fragments into choose your own adventure style, with a bunch of different session selections that cover the wide range of topics that Google is involved in. Many of these conversations will be recorded, so if you find yourself having a really good conversation or have a conflict, don't worry about it. There will be Q&A stations in the Villages area staffed with knowledgeable folks from Google to answer questions across any of the wide array of products that Google supports. Many of the sessions will be covering the different areas of development for Google, such as Firebase, Google Play, Web, Android, of course, Google Cloud, and my favorite, Google Workspace. In the evening of day one, we have the developer block party, which is usually an evening of quirky fun and entertainment. I don't know exactly what they have planned this year, but it's usually a good time and generally includes snacks or food for dinner. It also takes place at the same time as speed networking, so pick your poison and get schmoozing. Day 2, the first session starts at 10, but breakfast opens at 9. And I have to say, I really appreciate a conference that starts later in the day for us night people to wake up and get there properly. Day 2 sessions also run the gamut of some pretty awesome power players at Google, such as Logan Kilpatrick and Josh Woodward, who basically run Gemini, as well as developer experts and product managers from across Google. I assume that there will be an event app, but I haven't seen any mention of it as of yet. Other than that, who knows? Google likes to be quirky and delightful. I mentioned that this is a festival-style event, and like most of these conferences, you will get out of it what you put into it. If you have questions or issues or are not familiar with some of the products and you want to get answers, this is an excellent place to get access to the experts who you normally wouldn't be able to speak with. Generally, in my experience, even if the person who you are talking to doesn't know the answer, they usually know somebody else on the team who they can ask and get an answer for you. I hope this is helpful for all of you, and feel free to come up and say hello. Let me know that you saw this video, and as always, thanks for watching.